So on my last video and thing, we talked about social media and how it affects people, or do people affect social media? And I do believe that it was there already, and but I don't think social media amplified it, because there were other ways and means that people portray how they are. Also, saying that it's generational is one thing. However, I think one generation learned from the other. One generation always learn from the other. We always like listen. I'm older, so I hear it from a lot of older people. Oh, this younger generation, they this, they that. They learn it from us. We do stuff subconsciously, not knowing that we create in situations that can be amplified later on, and it could be things that we don't see, things that we see, we don't see in ourselves, I should say, but it sort of manifests in our offspring and our children and stuff like that. Like, I'm a father, and I know I did stuff subconsciously that my son see that he's going to do, be it consciously or subconsciously. So that behavior keeps going. The next generation isn't doing something brand new per se. They're just amplifying what we did, and whatever we did subconsciously that we believe we didn't pass on, they are amplifying it. They're bringing it to the forefront. And I know that might not make some sense or anything like that, but we keep saying that the younger generation, oh, look at what they're doing and this and that. And this is a thing that say, okay, so let's say the younger generation, they're promiscuous and they're exposing themselves and all of this. But let's look at history. And, we have the roaring 20s where everybody's running wild, bootleg drinking and stuff like that. They were breaking the law. They had all those seedy little joints and stuff that people went to party in. So now we have kids out there, and they're doing the same thing. And I went so far back as to go back to granny and great granny there. You understand? And then when you come up to the 50s and the 60s, look at this. Oh, drugs and rock and roll and blah 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 and all of that. You understand what I mean? Isn't that the same thing that these modern musicians and stuff is doing? Yeah. Another thing too, people are complaining about gangsters this, gangsters that, and how everybody is like romanticizing the gangster lifestyle. But isn't that what they were doing with Scarface and all those gangster movies and all the documentaries about the mafia and stuff? So it's nothing new. It's been done. It's been done. If you sit down and you if you watch a lot of gangsters, what are the movies they like? Movies with James Cagney, top of the world, ma. They watch all these old movies of gangsters. Scarface is one of the most popular movies for a lot of these kids that are out here today. Say hello to my little friend. And then we go, what's wrong with them? Where did they learn it from? Where did they learn it from? Us. The things that we amplify. They are exploring it even more. And now they have social media to have mass distribution of it. And it's become, and we like to think at our age that we had control of it, you know what I mean? But just because we weren't part of the situation doesn't mean that it wasn't widespread. And I'll tell you, okay, I sit back and I think a lot about things like that. And then when I look back, I thought, wait a minute, it was like that then. I was just kind of shielded from it in one essence, and then I avoided it in another sense. Doesn't mean it wasn't there before. So for us to sit here and say like there's something wrong with this generation, mind you, our parents said the same thing about our generation, and their parents says the same thing about their generation. And it's a combination of Humanity changing, technology changing, you know, everything is changing. Is it changing fast? No, it's not. Everybody think things is changing fast. It's really not. It just seems like it's changing fast because life goes by so fast for us. People say life is too short. No, life is long. Average 70 years, that's a lot of years to make changes for the good. We tend to make it for the bad. That's a lot of years there. It just seems short. It just seems short because we're so busy trying to survive and we're so busy trying to follow norms that are set for us that we are not slowing it down and paying attention to what's going on around us. I know I'm guilty of that. Like I'm saying, where did 2025 go? But I was so busy working and going back and forth and doing the same thing over and over again, the monotonous stuff, that you pay so much attention to that you don't pay attention to the fact that you're living. You don't have time to slow time down because when you're at work, most of us go to work. We want work to be over with because we really don't like what we're doing. In essence, we are forced to follow a certain system of things, and this too, following that certain system of things, is what makes us do things that we're not conscious of, that the younger generation is learning from. And I don't think everybody is bad. I say a good 80% of the people in the world are good people. The people who do crazy stuff just talk the loudest. They're the ones who pick up the camera. They're the ones arrogant enough to pick up the camera. I'm saying that, and I'm sitting in front of the camera here talking. But, they're the ones that are picking up the camera and talking the loudest. And when you talk the loudest, you get attention. When you get attention, so people make money off of that attention that you're getting. So they promote that. That's what social media does. If you have drama and you go on Facebook and you put it on, everybody's watching it. Oh, look at all the action. They think they're watching a movie or something when they're watching somebody's life unravel in real time. But it's entertainment to people. So of course the platforms aren't going to go, well, this is detrimental to the human psyche if we do that there. No, they're making money off of it. Or somebody is. That's why you have people put their family on platforms like YouTube and stuff like that. And if they actually put their life on there and things are good, nobody's going to watch it. So a lot of these people manufacture stuff. And that goes down to the whole selfishness part of it too. And somebody said in the comment section that people are selfish. People have always been selfish though. I'm going to tell you something that I always say. 1980s is when things started to go extreme in a certain direction. Do you remember the 80s was a decade of, what was it? Image is everything. What's that commercial they had with Andre Agassi? That was one of the most popular commercials ever. Image is everything, and you just get that message over and over and over, and subliminally it sticks in your mind. I gotta have that image. Then you have the people come up and they say, fake it until you make it. So that's why you have all these. That was way before any kind of real platforms was popular. Fake it till you make it. Or you got all these Instagram people, photoshopping stuff, pretending that they're rich so that they could get rich. That stuff started way before Instagram and then became popular. That was in the 80s, before the internet was big. It was already there. But it was done in a subtle way. Commercials say stuff like that, you know what I mean? It amplified the selfishness. We are doing this. We are doing this. We are amplifying certain behaviors and marketing it. It's always been done. It's nothing new, man. It's always been done. If you had a radio back in the day, it was done to you. If you go to movies back in the day, it was done to you. They used to try to do it subtly. They don't do it subtly anymore. Like I remember when I was a kid and we went to the movies, they'd have like little writings come across the screen to advertise stuff. And we watch the movie, we don't think we don't consciously know we see it, but it's in our mind. Ooh, I need to go get me a pop, a soft drink or something. That's because it just flashed on there. But we so engrossed in the movie, we didn't really see it. It's subliminal messaging. Isn't that the same thing that happened when you have to flash subscribe on the screen on YouTube? It's the same thing. It's always been done. We like to think that we innovative when we're doing new stuff. We're not doing new stuff. We're doing the stuff that's always worked on people. It's just on, I like to say it's on steroids now on places like YouTube and stuff like that. The big thing I think that the big problem I think that social media and stuff has bring forth, things like Facebook, is the lack of communication. People don't communicate with each other anymore. They just go on Facebook and blast it there. Instagram, Snapchat. And like I said in the previous video, when was the last time you had a real conversation with somebody? Like a really deep conversation. Even people you date, it's all surface. Therein lies the issue, us. And I could bring all kinds of examples of that. We need to start communicating with each other face to face. And it starts with the people right around you. And those are the ones I'm talking about that we don't communicate with. You really don't. I know I don't a lot. I don't say stuff to people that needs to be said. I'm guilty of it too. I do it at least 60% of the time, but most of the time I just go, I'll just leave them be, walk away. Everybody's walking away. The person who pushes themselves on you, that's who you gravitate to. Doesn't mean that that's the right person to have around you. People on social media, you have the red pill guys, you have the women that talk trash about, they push themselves on you. Doesn't mean that those are the right people to listen to. I'm not saying they're the wrong people, I'm just saying doesn't mean they're the right people. Just because somebody say what you want to hear doesn't mean that they're right in what they're saying. It just means they're agreeing with you. It's easier to listen to somebody who agree with you than somebody who's going to go contrary to you with a little bit of common sense. And we do that. And that's another psychological effect of social media. People scroll through memes to see stuff that agrees with what they say or how they feel, and then they post it. No original thought, no original emotion, no original feeling, just somebody else saying something. And then they gravitate to the things that says sarcastic stuff. Or like, oh yeah, I don't need nobody, be a strong person, self-love, self-love, self-love. So of course people are going to become selfish. And again, even person to person before social media, that's what people told people. I'll give you an example. I had a friend and she was trying to date for a long time, and she was told when somebody didn't pay attention to her, she got upset and she's like, I'll never date again. And everybody said, yeah, all you need is your kid, you don't need a man. I said, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. If she didn't need somebody or want somebody, why was she trying in the first place? Why don't you say, hey, well, this didn't work out. Don't get down on yourself and all of that. That's, things will work out. No, they just tell them, no, forget about it, and they just go off like that. And that is what platforms have people say now. You walk away, you do this, you do that. Nobody's got no patience for anybody anymore. But I'm babbling here. But you see, everything kind of ties into everything. And social media amplifies it. If you speak about love on social media, and I'm not talking about romantic love, I'm talking about love in general, you get no play. Absolutely nobody uh, participate in any conversation like that. But if you get on there and you say something mean about somebody or hateful about somebody, everybody's in there. I can't believe that some people are like that, and people are so mean, and people are so this. But I write a lot of peace and love stuff on Facebook. I refuse to get into the all sarcastic stuff. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Crickets. But if I write something that slightly disparaging about somebody, like, laugh. I say something funny about love and, peace and stuff like that, nothing. But if I was to say love and peace, but nobody's like that anymore, boom. Oh, you're so right. This is wrong. That is wrong. That's us bringing us to the platform, not the platform bringing us to the mentality that we in. And that's the way things are. But comment down in the comment section. Tell me what you think. Hope you guys have a good day. Go out and love a stranger. Go out and love a stranger.